r/antiwork. James Cobalt says, "Hey guys, it's cool. This is all you need to do to become one of the richest people in the world. Just get a minimum wage job at Walmart, then raise your hand anytime you see the opportunity. It's all good, you're just not raising your hand enough." Included photo. Cryogenic Monster says, he started working there in 1984, so it took decades at the same company. Most of the time he was in management until becoming CEO in 2014. It's not reasonable to think this is a path that is available or even possible for everyone, but capitalists will tell the story as if it is. Ain't exactly Planner says, he also forgets to mention that he worked there unloading trucks during the summer. After high school, his dad sent him to college and then to get an MBA. He called an executive at Walmart, probably someone he worked with/for, when he was unloading trucks, said, "I wanna be a buyer after I graduate with my MBA," and had a job waiting for him. Never once did he volunteer to do his boss's job until after he had 6 years of college. Typical Jesus 666 says, this explains a lot and it really speaks to just how full of shit these people are. Like damn, becoming the CEO is a decent story in and of itself, even with the help along the way. These people trying to pretend that they did it all on their own is such a crock of shit. Putrid at 2256 says, I don't buy this bullshit for 1 minute, because if he started from humble beginnings, had an ounce of humanity, and remember how hard it was to work for peanuts to make ends meet, you'd hear about current workers getting compensated better. He would remember the struggle and we wouldn't be hearing about Walmart workers on food stamps. My guess is that he was a ruthless backstabber and had contempt for everyone he worked with. He became cutthroat and is now fine with looking down his nose at people that he once called his co-workers, if this bullshit is even a bit true. Canaris Southern 1420 says, CS do not have that kind of power, they answer to the board of directors. They have to maximize profit and shareholder value above all else as a publicly traded company. If a CEO went rogue and started increasing salaries, he'd be kicked out by the board in a millisecond. Express Lanechally says, what if the CEO made a pitch about reducing turnover, increasing customer satisfaction, etc. all of which can make a company more money? The firing of a CEO for recommending something like this, especially for a Fortune 100 company, would cost them hundreds of millions if not billions, in violating the CEO's contract. r/antiwork. Innovatabla Training 69 says, we should all boycott Black Friday in protest of poverty. This has been one of the most devastating years in American history for the economy, especially for working class people. The wealth inequality gap has soared to new heights this year, inflation has skyrocketed, groceries are unaffordable, layoffs left and right so executives can be paid absurd salaries even with record-breaking profits from the company. Here's what I feel we should do. Completely boycott Black Friday entirely. Yep, they want to try and starve us, to try and force us to live in a dystopian poverty hellscape. That's fine, we will completely boycott on Black Friday, and they will get little to nothing. In order to support this, on Black Friday or that entire weekend, do not go to the stores and buy deals. Do not shop online from retailers like Amazon, Walmart, etc. Any big company out there that is directly tied to funding and contributing to poverty on a large scale in the USA, completely avoid them. Do not give them anything. Pagine Bering says, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with your sentiment, however Black Friday has been dying off for years. Many companies are promoting month-long Black Friday deals, and more cyber deals, because folks just don't care about Black Friday anymore. I used to work retail in 2012 and 2013 and actually didn't mind working Black Friday, because it was always super slow, and I got paid holiday pay. That being said, in order for your boycott to work, it'd really come down to not giving commercial gifts for Christmas at all. If you must give gift, buy from a local artist or vendor, or just make something yourself. Evil Judgment says, I've been doing that the last 4 years because of poverty. Jerko Lady says, I'm definitely boycotting it, and not because all of my money goes to barely surviving, but because, frick them. Imendicantbius says, Black Friday has been the entire month of November for a decade now. Kanaya.Metoticus says, so instead of not buying things because you're too poor to, you're going to not buy things on principle. The big core aren't going to care, you won't be giving them much money regardless. FunSwim4247 says, don't worry, the poors will boycott it themselves. DoWineo says, I do like this idea, I fear it may be hard to get momentum going. But heck it, I'm in. If this doesn't materialize, maybe next year too we try it again. TBH though, I'm itching for a tax strike. I think most everyone can agree taxation as is horribly unbalanced and unfair. It's be a hell of a way to make the government listen. Imaginary Maze 5640 says, broke boy can't even afford those Black Friday prices. The Tikama Club says, this is no different than not buying gas on Tuesday. Sales will be low on Tuesday, but higher on Wednesday, so it's a wash. You would have to boycott the holiday season itself. Not buying gifts on Black Friday, but shopping on Cyber Monday and every day until Christmas has little impact. But not buying any gifts for the entire season, that's different. Woodman Alejandro says, Black Friday doesn't even have great deals either. Faithlessness More 835 says, I boycott these things regularly. I'm too poor to afford a sale. Either I actually need something, food, medicine, replacement items of clothing, cookware and similar. Or I can't afford it. I know lots of us who are at the bare wire now. Be aware, the stores raise the price of an item to a certain amount, then offer a sale which just brings the price back down to where it was to begin with. r/antiwork. Chicken Dinner 10,191 says, hate the company that bought us out. My current company is being merged with another company. I say merged in quotation because the reality is we were bought out, and the company that is, frick, I'm cannibalizing us is going to liquidate our division over the next 6 months. The new CEO came in and said they're going to look at everybody's job description and see where we fit in the new company and then maybe make offers. He also said there will probably be pay cuts when he integrates us into his existing organization. Everybody would have quit, but nobody did because they didn't have anything else lined up. It took that asshole a month to figure out which staff were to stay on board. While many of us got to keep our jobs and our salaries, the company that purchased us is not being transparent about what the future looks like, and they have kept their existing dysfunctional leadership structure in place. Nobody who was a supervisor at our old job is a supervisor at the new company. They are kept out of meetings. They are understudies to the CEO's current unqualified staff. Despite none of his staff knowing anything about our software or financials. Imagine a micromanager who doesn't know shit. Transitions are hard, the CEO said, it will take some time to figure out, but let us know how we are doing. Bizat, you cannot convince me that shit is going fine when it clearly isn't. I honestly think their plan is to absorb our knowledge and then issue pink slips when we are no longer useful. Letting us keep our jobs was just temporary to buy time for his workers to get up to speed and complete the transaction. No working professional should be sticking around for this crap. I didn't ask for any of this dysfunction. I've been in the workforce 20 years and I have never once gotten a job through networking, friends of friends, connections, pulling strings, good old boy networks, etc. I always applied online and jumped through the hoops of multiple rounds interviews, exams, etc. All I've got are my balls and my resume. So I have just been applying like crazy to the jobs I feel I'm qualified for. But it is slow going. We are damn near in November, so I'm running out of time to find something else before the holidays pick up and the hiring slows down again. You really think people are going to be conducting interviews on around 3 weeks before Christmas and New Year's? Hell no. I need prayer. I need. Dark hair, Bezach says. My company went through an acquisition when I was 32 weeks pregnant. I already had a C-section scheduled at 37 weeks, so I knew I was going to deliver in 5 weeks. I already had my short-term disability approved with the old company and had some PTO saved up, not a ton. The new company paid us out for all of PTO as soon as they took over. We had a store meeting with the new hours and leadership. The hour director showed up halfway through the meeting with Starbucks in her hand. I went up to her after the meeting and asked what I was supposed to do for maternity leave, since I already had everything figured out with the last company. She responded back annoyed, "I just used PTO when I had my kids. Bezach, you just reset my PTO, and I deliver in 5 weeks, which won't do jack for me." I ended up getting nothing because the new short-term disability had a pre-existing condition clause that the company signed up for. Since I had seen a doctor in the 12 weeks prior to giving birth, I was disqualified. My manager went to bat for me and sent a nasty email to ours. They asked me to provide them with all kinds of documents while my daughter was in the NICU, then promptly ghosted me. Never saw a cent from them my whole maternity leave. Frick acquisitions and mergers. Admirable at 5898 says. Sounds like an Elmo move. I guess there are probably a lot more scummy executives than just him, though. Sorry to hear of your troubles and good luck finding a newer, better job. OK Set 8022 says. Good old normal capitalism. Vanilla Highway says. Find a new job. Didn't Ian Milep says. Any chance you'll get some sort of severance pay if they let you go? Something to consider. Good luck, Opus. Eastern Wait 6048 says. And you have my sympathy. I don't pray, kinda seems like asking a person like your for favors, not likely, even if I did believe. But yeah, your situation stinks, and I hope it gets better for you. Applechick Max says. I work in this field as a person who does the diligence pre-close and the runs the integration post-close. I fully agree with your statements above. It's definitely unbelievable to find out that not only was your employer up for sale, but that the deal is already done. Employees get no say in this, unless they are a founder, C-suite or sizable shareholder. But please don't save all of your emotions for the company who bought your employer. Your company owners put the company up for sale privately. Send out recs looking for interested buyers for months, maybe a couple years. Once an interested party came forward, the negotiations and sharing of data beings with a signed LOI. Then months of reviews, meetings, and integration/future plans are agreed upon by both seller and buyer. Please understand that your executive leadership fully participated in this negotiation and also deserves just as much responsibility for your work situation. A one-sided acquisition, merger, whatever is actually called a hostile takeover. You can look up how that happens to see the difference. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.